Whataburger Friday Night Stars, the final hour of Week 5 as we bring you to the halfway point of the regular season in Texas high school football. Welcome into the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star in Frisco. It's Whataburger Friday Night Stars presented by Game On Sports. It's now Friday Night Stars Overtime as we bring you all the final scores, all the interviews, all the highlights and analysis that you need in Texas high school football in the DFW area. Glad you're with us. Kyle Youmans, Hekma Harrison, Zach Wolchuk, and Eric Chiofalo, the best four minds. Best three minds. I'll take myself out of there. Best three minds in all of Texas. I'm just here to drive the bus, baby.
Kyle, I love it.
I'm just here to drive the bus.
So humble.
Man, we've got an outstanding slate of games that we've already been going through for the first 3 hours of the show. Now that we're into the final hour, oh my.
I just want to take a moment and appreciate no rain.
No rain.
We have a full slate of games to talk about. Everybody's calling in now with what has happened. They've got a full report. It's not about weather delays. It's not about cancellations.
It's about football.
It's about what just happened on the gridiron.
I think I'm happiest for Ashley.
I couldn't be more excited right now, folks. This is...
Aren't you happier for Ashley Pickle, though, more than anybody?
You know what?
She's been out there just swimming, taking it on. She's been 2 games a week, just getting rained on for the last month.
All it took
got some real
was send her to a Plano victory.
A little Plano victory for
she was able to have it completed.
Too much, man.
What can I say?
You're feeling good about it.
We're feeling good tonight, baby. We're going to the local Whataburger, Spring Creek and Coit. We'll see you there.
Amen.
Well, actually, let's go ahead and start off with Plano.
All right.
Tell us how that Plano West rivalry ended up in your favor there, Mr. Wolchuk.
Well, 28-14 the final. And this one we saw, we showed the highlights earlier, opening kickoff, muffed. West recovers in the end zone. They're up 7-0. Here comes Kyron Cumby. Cody Christ with a huge touchdown run. It was 14-all at half, and then Plano's defense came to play. They put the clamp down there in the second half, didn't allow any points, and a couple of big plays. Cody Christ finished with a heck of a football game, 18 carries, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kyron Cumby did it a lot, mainly as a receiver. He did have the 1 touchdown run, but it was 10 catches, 91 yards for him. So all in all, effective day for the Plano Wildcats, and Plano West is going to have to wait another year. That's 3 straight. Plano's beaten West, and they are well over 2 years since they've won a football game there for the Plano West.
Was it the jerseys?
The all maroon is always.
Is that what it is?
Unless they're playing against Allen, they've got a good chance to win in the all maroon.
Who's that?
Who's Allen? I don't know. I'll tell you who wants Allen, though, is Plano East, and our reporter on the field there at Kimbrough Stadium as East is knocking off Prosper right now. He sent us in a video. Hopefully we can get that soon. Apparently the Plano East student section is chanting, "We want Allen."
Ooh.
Be careful what you
I completely agree.
I love the confidence.
Yeah, it might have to be the
good
student section of the week later on. Another game that we have now seen gone final, Frisco Lone Star at Little Elm. Frisco Lone Star, really, this is a team that we thought might blow out Little Elm or at least make it a couple score win. Well, they ended up winning 10-7. We've got Jackson Donovan on the phone. Jackson was at this game on the scene. And Jackson, was this a case of Little Elm kind of maybe not dominating the football game, but just kind of controlling Lone Star, or was Lone Star just kind of off their game today?
Lone Star offensively was absolutely terrible. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They could get absolutely nothing going on tonight. Little Elm, on the flip side, offensively was even worse. Basically, the only thing that it came down to that separated these two offenses was the amount of turnovers that Little Elm had. On the flip side, both defenses were absolutely incredible. If you're both defensive coordinators, you're going to go home tonight and rest knowing that the game was not won or lost on your side. It completely came down to offense.
Hey, this is Hekma here. Let's talk about that Lone Star defense. Tell me some of the guys that you've seen. Now, we're high on these juniors for Lone Star. Did you see any of these guys, Kylan Ford, Dylan Harris, any of those names pop out for you?
So I'm actually going to name one that you didn't bring up, and it was one that I wasn't aware of until I started getting to the game, and there were some Houston recruits out, and they were out looking at the big number 77 defensive lineman Jaden Jones. And I tell you, they had him playing nose guard tonight, and there was nothing going on up the middle. He completely shut the door, and it was the most impressive embodiment of a football player on the field tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Jackson, for joining us. Big-time win, Lone Star 10 and Little Elm 7. A great football game. I'm glad you were able to be with us, and we'll talk to you again next week, buddy.
All righty.
Jackson Dunham from Frisco, Lone Star, and Little Elm. Now, as we get started on Friday Night Stars Overtime, we've actually got a little bit of a special guest coming into the studio. This is live on the scene as we have Frisco Memorial, their first ever win as a program. They started the season 0-4, but a huge win in a shootout earlier this afternoon. Derek Robertson, no T in there.
How
right?
you doing, Coach?
I'm good.
Feeling pretty good. That was a wild finish there at the end there, huh?
It was great, man. A great time for Memorial.
Yeah, definitely. So this game taking place just across the hallway at the Ford Center at the Star. Coach Robertson, kind of tell us how that unfolded and how your team was able to get off to such a quick start.
Well, they bust their butt the whole week, and they knew that they had to come in and score points. We hadn't scored a lot of points in the season. We played a tough schedule early, but it was apples to apples. Both teams, no seniors on the team. Their third year, our first. But it was more of an even playing field, and so our guys got some success early, and they kind of fed off of it. Came down late at the end, and the defense had to stand up, and they did that, and then we were able to get a score late and seal the deal.
What'd you do this week offensively? You said you've had trouble scoring the ball this week. Not the case. 45 points. Is there any adjustments made, or is this just execution?
Well, what we had to do is we had to simplify just a little bit, and then get a ton of reps. Just keep working the same stuff over and over and over again, and then it worked out for us in the end.
Coach, tell us a little bit about Charlie Flowers. Your quarterback had an unbelievable game tonight with 4 touchdown passes.
Well, he's a sophomore. He was kind of gunshot early in the season. We were going to like 2 quarterback system. And then, like the second game, he kind of emerged a little bit, and so we just went with him, man. He's picking up the system. Sometimes he doesn't step up in the pocket like he needs to, but that's, it's to be expected. He's young, but he did a really great job for us.
Coach, this is your first win of the program.
Yes, sir.
Now you are building. That's right. That's all right. Coach, it's your first win, and obviously you're building this program from the ground up. What are some of the things that you're trying to instill in your program and going forward, especially in the area that's so littered with talent?
Yeah, well, our program is built on discipline, commitment, and academic success.
That's it.
And so we're trying to instill a blue-collar mentality, hard work. Where we come from, we don't know how to just give up. We feel like regardless of how much talent we have, we got to try to outwork you.
That's right.
And at some point, you're going to be out, somebody's going to have more talent, and you just got to work harder. Blue-collar mentality every single day. The whole school has the same principles. Win the battle is our motto. So we're trying to go in every game with that mindset.
And y'all got plenty of tape about winning the battle tonight because there was a lot of adversity back and forth, and that defensive stance. I mean, talk about your defense and what they did right there at the end of the game.
Hey, man, they had a big challenge. We told them at the beginning of the game that this week was about sacrifice, something that you don't ever see. You can't see someone's heart because it's on the inside. So we told them that the heart is about strength, about showing your soul, and about expressing your mind. And so they went into the game. They had to stand up at the critical point in the game. We hadn't stopped the little quarterback sweep all night. They stood up when it counted them and made a great play.
Coach, I don't have any more eligibility left, but I want to play for you.
Hey, man, all right, we need you.
Absolutely.
Your defense showed a lot of heart on that last goal line stop there. But between us, though, that final call offensively for Lebanon Trail, I mean, questionable call there. I mean, going to the short side of the field, I'm sure you were happy to see as soon as the play started developing, you're like, oh, we got this.
Yes. I mean, when they didn't have a lot of room to go. But then, most teams, they want to run to their sideline. They have been getting the edge all night long. And I think as a coach, I probably would have made the same call, put the ball in my best player's hand, let them run to the edge because they had success early, and we showed up.
That's right.
Hey, that's one down, Coach. Now it's just about that winning streak, right? Next week, that's one win. That's great for your program, man.
Great
Congratulations.
building block for us, man.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you guys.
And in terms of as a coach, as a leader for some of these youngsters, what's it like being able to deliver that a first win? Nobody can take that away from you.
Ever.
First win in a program's history. What does that feel like?
Man, it's awesome. I ain't gonna lie. I almost came to tears. I ain't gonna lie, but hey, it was a great feeling. There's something like you said they'll never forget. we can make a banner, put it in the trophy case because it's important. It's first district ball game.
Yeah.
That's more important.
That's awesome.
And to me, I had never gone over, and so we got a victory. So my streak stands alive. So
That is.
I was appreciative of those kids.
That is important. You going to celebrate at Whataburger tonight or what?
Oh, absolutely. We do it every weekend.
That's it.
Yeah, right down the Eldorado.
Baby. Whataburger's got you, baby.
What's the go-to order?
Mine?
Yeah.
I'll just get a number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
With a large lemonade.
Any adjustments, or you just burger how it is?
No, I'm a simple guy.
Absolutely.
Respect, man.
Definitely. So Derek Robertson, head coach at Memorial, and man, isn't that awesome? First program win in history, and then you turn around and you get interviewed by a random show that you didn't know was in the same building.
Hey,
yeah,
well,
appreciate you.
Now we can get you every win, right? Every week. This
I
is
hope so.
normal.
We'll be back next
Come
week.
on over. Yeah, just come on over whenever you're done. But
I appreciate you
Coach,
guys.
thanks so much. We're going to take a quick break here on Whataburger Friday Night Stars. When we come back, we'll hear some more coaches from around the area and get some extra highlights in as we continue on Friday Night Stars Overtime.
This is the Pepsi that your father drank and your grandfather drank.
When I was your age, we worked for.
And your grandmother, she drank it too before she met him.
That was quite the catch, you know.
We know. This is the Pepsi that your Uncle Ted drank when rock sounded like this. And the one he drinks now that rock sounds like this. This is the Pepsi for American pastimes. Whether you're tailgating at a speedway or courtside watching your favorite player make a breakaway.
And he scores!
It even goes well with away games. This is the Pepsi that was made for your mom's famous 5-alarm chili. You know, the one she refuses to give the recipe to?
Never gonna happen.
Don't worry, your secret's safe with us. This is the Pepsi that makes you say, hee, ba, 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 and baby. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. We make sure that our customers get their order hot and fresh.
I ordered the original Whataburger.
I got the number 2 Whataburger double, and I got bacon on it because everyone loves bacon.
We don't make it until you order it.
Their ingredients are so fresh, and you can taste it. Tomato, lettuce, and the onions all the time is fresh.
We cut our vegetables 3 times a day.
They gave me a hot and fresh burger the way I like it, so I'm happy.
Your hometown Whataburger. Serving it hot and fresh all day, every day.
Tour the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco. VIP guided tours give Cowboys fans an inside look at the place where the Dallas Cowboys train and work. Fans have the opportunity to see the Cowboys' state-of-the-art war room, grand atrium, a display of all 5 Super Bowl trophies and rings, and more. Connect with the Cowboys in ways you never imagined. VIP guided tours are available daily. Get your tour tickets now at thestarinfrisco.com. That's thestarinfrisco.com.
It's true. Everything's better when the Cowboys win, especially Papa John's Pizza. New this season, every time the Cowboys win, you get 50% off regular menu price pizzas the next day at papajohns.com. That's half-price pizzas with promo code CowboysWin. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official pizza of your Dallas Cowboys. Limited time offer, not valid with any other coupons or discounts. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine a surging river of ice-cold Dr. Pepper, roaring with carbonated mists of desire. You're dangling above it, upside down, like a fishing lure in the wind. 23 flavors tickle your nose, but the river is too far away to taste. Dr. Pepper calls to you. You.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Located at Dallas Cowboys Headquarters at the Star in Frisco, Cowboys Fit offers a comprehensive gym experience with over 60,000 square feet of workout space, personal training, group fitness classes, a heated rooftop pool, and luxury amenities, including the same state-of-the-art equipment used in the Dallas Cowboys team facility. A dedicated recovery lounge featuring hydro massage and cryotherapy, a health and nutrition bar, and so much more. For more information or to join, visit cowboysfit.com.
You know those little pins you push in a map? The ones that show you all the places you've traveled to? Well, thanks to American Airlines, you're about to run out of pins. With the most destinations of any airline in the world, American brings you closer to your next trip, wherever it is on the map. So, get ready to explore some new points of interest. The most destinations of any airline in the world. That's American Airlines. Pins not included.
Hats, backpack shorts and sneakers. Helmets, shoulder pads, knee pads, and cleats. Adidas and JanSport, Under Armour and Nike. Hoodies, jerseys, leggings, and shoes.
Start your back-to-school season for less with our head-to-toe selection of sports essentials for under $30 and top brands and footwear under $60. Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less.
Ever wonder what it's like to play for the Dallas Cowboys?
We scratch, we claw, we fight.
To sit in the same locker room as your favorite Cowboys players. To run into the end zone.
Touchdown, Cowboys!
You could do all that and more when you tour AT&T Stadium. Play on the field. See the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders' locker room and gain access to areas where fans are never allowed on game day. It's all possible with AT&T Stadium Tours. Presented by SeatGeek. Tours are available daily. Visit attstadium.com for details.
Lots of scores flying in as we continue Whataburger Friday Night Stars here from Frisco, Texas, and home of the now 1-0 in district play, Frisco Memorial Ball Club, as we just had Coach Derek Robertson. Special thanks to Coach Robertson.
Yeah, thank you.
That is awesome,
memorial.
You could tell the emotion, too. I mean, that was just so cool that we got to be here for that win. Of that, I mean, what if that program goes off now? Frisco Memorial's a thing.
You were a part of it.
We were a part of it.
Very well could be, and that's a very exciting prospect. A big exciting prospect as well happened in Jesuit tonight. Let's take a look at Adrian Jagish. One of our reporters got a chance to catch up with McKinney Boyd's head coach as Boyd and the Broncos get their first win of the season in emphatic fashion against the Jesuit Rangers on the road.
Okay, guys, I'm here with head coach Drake, the winners of the Broncos. Coach, how do you feel about today's game?
It's great. You know, it's been some tough sledding so far early this season, but kids came over here and got a big win tonight against a good Jesuit club, and so we're excited about that. It was a hard-fought victory.
Well, in the beginning of the first half, it was sort of like the Broncos were leading, and then after the second half, it looks like Jesuits were kind of catching up, but ended up being that you guys followed through and ended up winning this game, breaking y'all's losing streak. How do you feel about that?
Well, it feels good, no doubt. You know, I thought we did. We started fast. You know, they came out in the third quarter. They got the opening kick of the second half and really managed the clock well, ran the football well, kind of had us against the ropes. We made a had a big pass play right there to score the touchdown that put us ahead by 7, you know, in the fourth quarter, and then held on. So it was great to see the kids play for 4 full quarters and give a good fight. So anyway, we're excited about that.
Awesome. Congratulations, Coach. Thank you.
Adrian Jagish on the scene as Boyd gets their first win of the season. He's also now on the phone. Adrian, thanks for joining us, and a great interview there with the head coach as McKinney Boyd pulls off the upset. But Adrian, was that the real story of this game? Was it the defense and being able to kind of slow down E.J. Smith as much as they could? But it really wasn't E.J. Smith. It was the rest of the offense that the Boyd Broncos were able to slow down.
Yeah, guys, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me on the phone. I was surprised with this game. I think everybody really expected Boyd to lose. They had really low expectations, and Jesuit had really high expectations. Last week, Jesuit dominated against Plano West with a 42-0 win, but this week the energy was not there. They were not. It was almost as if they were not wanting to play. They did score 4 touchdowns, but E.J. Smith was responsible for all of them. He really carried the team tonight. I was really surprised. Boyd did an amazing job. As you know, they had a 4-game losing streak, and so nobody really expected them to win. I know at halftime I was texting you guys, and everybody was kind of like, wow, this was really unexpected. I really think that, of course, you know, Boyd, both offense and defense, they dominated both sides, and they came to win today.
Adrian, Zach here with you. It seemed like McKinney Boyd's offense really just revolved around 4 players: Colin Drake, Tyler Shaw, Cedric Bowler, and Kareem Coleman. Tell us a little bit about that Boyd offense that really got going early and set the tone of this football game.
As I said earlier, they came to play and they came to win. Tyler Shaw, I know he was responsible for 4 of the touchdowns. And during the fourth quarter, they made a pass to number 4, junior. He's the running back, junior Kareem Coleman, and he's responsible for the 5th touchdown. They were not joking around, but I think the real story behind this game was just Jesuit was not in it today. Again, they were really leaning on they're really leaning on E.J. Smith to carry the game. That being said, E.J. Smith is an awesome player. I have high hopes for him. Maybe he can go pro. But I think the real story is I think Boyd obviously did a great job. And because for a little bit after halftime, Jesuit really caught up and they were neck and neck 28-28. But then the energy just fell again. And the coaches were yelling at them. They seemed really upset. I don't think this was a night for Jesuit.
Yeah, definitely so, and Boyd definitely took advantage of that as well. 35-28, the final score there. Adrian, thanks so much for your hard work. We'll talk to you again next week.
Talk to you guys later. Bye.
There goes Adrian Jagish.
Tough loss for Jesuit, too. They're off next week, and then they play Prosper. So, looking at that schedule, if they didn't have that bye week, and they still might have just been overlooking Boyd because they came in winless. They were riding high after whipping up on West in their first district game. Maybe they're thinking, all right, we're going to get an easy breezy win, have a week off, 2 weeks to prepare for Prosper. But you just can't do that in Texas high school football today.
It sounds like Jesuit's defense is really just failing them, basically.
Yes.
With E.J. Smith, like I said at the beginning of when we started this, would the real E.J. Smith please stand up? And he did it.
Yes.
He scored all of their points. I mean, this guy's 100 yards on the ground and 80, 90 yards in the air, catching the ball. He is Mr. Everything for them.
It's
at this
not on
point,
EJ.
It's not on him. And so where the press clippings and all of that, he already comes into the game with the target on his back just because of who he is, right? But the rest of those guys have got to support that and go to war with this kid because, again, 28 points should be enough to win you the game.
And it's surprising to me because Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Coach Woods from Highland Park is now over.
He is.
At Jesuit as the defensive coordinator. And Coach Woods was the architect of that Scots D that 2 years ago was the big reason why they won the state championship. They were outstanding last year, also very, very good. I mean, the system works. And I thought him going over to Jesuit was really, really going to help that side of the football. And they just haven't been out there playing at a consistent level for them.
Yeah, they're clearly showing some growing pains with new scheme, new whatever it is they got going defensively. It's not happening for them right now. And I think the toughest thing for Jesuit is, like you mentioned, E.J. Smith had the great night. We've been waiting for it all season long for the most part. They've tried to find different ways to get him involved. Tonight they do on the ground, in the air, and still offensively they can't do quite enough to win the game.
So let's go back to a couple of the games that we have talked about already in great length. Let's go to Plano and Plano West. Of course, we've talked a lot about this game because across the table.
Plano. Plano.
Didn't take that long.
Happened?
The paw pat?
The paw, baby.
Well,
paw?
Plano.
Well, okay, whoa. Calm it down a little bit because
I'm excited, baby.
We've got Ashley Pickle on the phone who was at this ball game.
I bet it was one of the best games Ashley's been to ever. Ashley, tell us about what it was like at John Clark Stadium, the paw prints, the mystique of a Plano game, that unbelievable fan base. Give it to me, Ashley. Let us know.
Is that your alma mater?
It is my alma mater.
Ashley, you're so smart.
I could not tell. I had no idea. Man, no, it was a fantastic game. It does not get better than Texas high school rivalry games like that. The student section showed up. The cheerleaders were pumped. The teams were pumped coming out. And that's the thing. Plano West starting out on an 0-4 streak. Plano starting out 1-3, both 0-1 in district. I didn't know exactly how this game was going to play out, but after that first half, that's some of the best football that I've seen all year.
Ashley, we've talked a lot about Kyron Cumby of Plano. What was it like seeing him in person tonight? I know he had himself a nice game. What was it like seeing him in person?
Seeing Kyron was very cool. He is just unbelievable. I mean, you would have thought he was a basketball player out there breaking ankles because he was just all over the place. The amount of time and the quickness he has to be able to scatter around in that backfield before he makes up his mind and decides that he's going to take off is unbelievable. But he Plano West did a very good job, going into film that they were worried about him and they were double teaming him all night, making sure that they weren't doing anything. And that's when Cody Christ really came out to play, another running back, a junior in Christ, but he really showed up. 3 out of the 4 touchdowns for Plano. Very, very good player. Just ducks his head down and takes that ball into the end zone.
Yeah, and Christ also plays linebacker, I believe. So, I mean, that's quite the challenge, playing both ways. But for West, they were probably playing pretty confident, hanging into that game at 14-all at halftime. I mean, what did you see from the Wolves side of things? That's a program that's really struggled the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, their very first drive, they came out and they had the very, very good quarterback. Oh, goodness, what's his name?
Danny Davis?
Yes, Danny Davis. There you go. Danny Davis he's 6'5". He's a well-sized player. He's coming out just towering over these guys, and he's not scared to run the ball. But when he came out his first drive, he threw that 60-yard touchdown pass that was then fumbled, and then they recovered it in the end zone, and that was a big momentum shift for West right there. I was standing on the Plano sideline at the time, and you'll hear the coaches, and one of them just went, "What in the world just happened?" Like they really were. You could see a look of shock on their face that, one, they were gutsy enough to go ahead and pull out a 60-yard pass to start off the game, and then the fact that they recovered it, it was a momentum shift. For a while, I really thought that West was in it. Obviously, they did too, leading into halftime, and then Plano, I don't know what Coach said to them at halftime, but they came out ready to roll in that second half.
Hey, Ashley, this is Hekma. Now, Wolchuk has talked all about this rivalry. We have to make ourselves ready for it. Did it live up to the billing and all the hype that he put around it?
The first half definitely did. It was rivalry football. It seemed like the playbooks were just completely out of the way. There was guys all over the field. Crazy stuff was happening. The first half definitely did. I was a little disappointed in the rivalry aspect of the second half.
Oh, wow. You look at the stats up on the sheet right now, and Plano really kind of dominated in terms of total yardage. That balanced attack, was that something that you talk about in the first half? It was a close game. Was that mostly in the second half in terms of the yardage gained?
Exactly, yeah. In that first half, it was back and forth on possessions. I mean, 7-7 to end the first, 14-14 to end the second, and they were scoring one after another. There was long periods in the middle of the quarters, it seemed like, where it was just back and forth possession. So they kind of mirrored after each other, which was making it such the good rivalry atmosphere in that first half. But yeah, the second half is where Plano just racked up those yards.
Ashley, you sent us some beautiful footage of the Plano band there at the half. What'd you think of the bands? You've gotten to see a few now. So I mean, what'd you think of these two?
Well, Jack, I'm probably just going to break your heart.
No, that's fine. I've never been a huge defender of the Plano band. I care more about the team.
Okay, good. Because Plano West pulled out an oboe solo, and I don't know how much. Obviously, I'm assuming Zach, you know a lot about band. It seems like, or maybe just fond of it. But the oboe solo was unbelievable. It's hard enough to play an oboe, but to go out there in front of a football crowd and make it sound like. It was beautiful. It was awesome. So Plano West took the battle of the bands for me tonight for sure.
Hey, that's fine, Ashley. We appreciate that as long as you enjoyed the game.
He's so salty right now.
Plano won on the scoreboard. That's all that matters.
He said scoreboard. He just pulled the scoreboard out on you, Ashley. This guy's literally reaching in his bag right now. He's finding nothing.
Scoreboard.
Shout out to the oboes.
Shout out to the oboes, indeed. Ashley, thanks for your hard work again. I'm sorry this becomes a weekly occurrence.
Oh,
man.
You're the best, Ashley. Thank you.
Pickle, hardest working woman in sports. We'll talk to you again next week, Pickle.
Y'all have fun, guys.
Oh, we definitely will. We know Zach's having fun.
All in all, 14 points. Not good enough. Disappointed. We'll have Kelton Reed, our friend of the show, call on in there.
Defense.
Talking about the defense. First text I got from Kelton, boy, we played down to the competition today.
Oh,
he's not happy.
I got to put that on coaching, Kelton.
Excuse me?
Wow, that's interesting.
Excuse me?
He went there.
I'm just putting it on the coaching
all right,
staff.
Well, we'll ask Kelton about that.
We'll definitely ask Kelton about that. When we come back after the break, we'll talk with Derek Finch, who was at Prosper and Plano East, but we're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back with more Whataburger Friday Night Stars in a moment.
You know those little pins you push in a map? The ones that show you all the places you've traveled to? Well, thanks to American Airlines, you're about to run out of pins. With the most destinations of any airline in the world, American brings you closer to your next trip, wherever it is on the map. So, get ready to explore some new points of interest. The most destinations of any airline in the world. That's American Airlines. Pins not included.
Hats, backpack shorts and sneakers. Helmets, shoulder pads, knee pads, and cleats. Adidas and JanSport, Under Armour and Nike. Hoodies, jerseys, leggings, and shoes.
Start your back-to-school season for less with our head-to-toe selection of sports essentials for under $30 and top brands and footwear under $60. Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less.
Ever wonder what it's like to play for the Dallas Cowboys?
We scratch, we claw, we fight.
To sit in the same locker room as your favorite Cowboys players. To run into the end zone.
Touchdown, Cowboys!
You can do all that and more when you tour AT&T Stadium. Play on the field, see the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders' locker room, and gain access to areas where fans are never allowed on game day. It's all possible with AT&T Stadium Tours, presented by SeatGeek. Tours are available daily. Visit attstadium.com for details.
It's true. Everything's better when the Cowboys win, especially Papa John's Pizza. New this season, every time the Cowboys win, you get 50% off regular menu price pizzas the next day at papajohns.com. That's half-price pizzas with promo code CowboysWin. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official pizza of your Dallas Cowboys. Limited time offer, not valid with any other coupons or discounts. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
This is the Pepsi that your father drank and your grandfather drank.
When I was your age, we worked for
And your grandmother, she drank it too before she met him.
That was quite the catch, you know.
We know. This is the Pepsi that your Uncle Ted drank when rock sounded like this. And the one he drinks now that rock sounds like this. This is the Pepsi for American pastimes. Whether you're tailgating at a speedway or courtside watching your favorite player make a breakaway. It even goes well with away games. This is the Pepsi that was made for your mom's famous 5-alarm chili. You know, the one she refuses to give the recipe to?
Never gonna happen.
Don't worry, your secret's safe with us. This is the Pepsi that makes you say, hee, ba, 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 and baby. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. We make sure that our customers get their order hot and fresh.
I ordered the original Whataburger.
I got the number 2 Whataburger double, and I got bacon on it because everyone loves bacon.
We don't make it until you order it.
Their ingredients are so fresh, and you can taste it. Tomato, lettuce, and the onions all the time is fresh.
We cut our vegetables 3 times a day.
They gave me a hot and fresh burger the way I like it, so I'm happy.
Your hometown Whataburger. Serving it hot and fresh all day, every day.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine a surging river of ice-cold Dr. Pepper, roaring with carbonated mists of desire. You're dangling above it, upside down, like a fishing lure in the wind. 23 flavors tickle your nose, but the river is too far away to taste. Dr. Pepper calls to you. You.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Tour the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco. VIP guided tours give Cowboys fans an inside look at the place where the Dallas Cowboys train and work. Fans have the opportunity to see the Cowboys' state-of-the-art war room, grand atrium, a display of all 5 Super Bowl trophies and rings, and more. Connect with the Cowboys in ways you never imagined. VIP guided tours are available daily. Get your tour tickets now at thestarinfrisco.com. That's thestarinfrisco.com.
Located at Dallas Cowboys Headquarters at the Star in Frisco, Cowboys Fit offers a comprehensive gym experience with over 60,000 square feet of workout space, personal training, group fitness classes, a heated rooftop pool, and luxury amenities, including the same state-of-the-art equipment used in the Dallas Cowboys team facility. A dedicated recovery lounge featuring hydro massage and cryotherapy, a health and nutrition bar, and so much more. For more information or to join, visit cowboysfit.com.
Whataburger Friday Night Stars continuing the overtime section as we're from the Star in Frisco, head to headquarters of the Dallas Cowboys. And we are joined now by the defensive backs coach from Zach Wolchuk's famous Plano Wildcats, fresh off of their win. Kelton Reed joins Whataburger Friday Night Stars. Kelton, thanks again for joining us 2 weeks in a row now. Now you get to do it after a win, which is much nicer, especially when it's a rivalry win, right?
Is that Wolchuk talking?
Uh-oh.
No, that's Kyle Youmans
Nope, that's Kyle Youmans talking. We're talking to you right now.
What up, Kelton? You got us?
Kelton Reed.
Kelton.
Uh-oh.
We might have lost Kelton Reed, but
maybe he just can't hear us yet.
Unfortunately, either that or it's Derek Finch. Is this Derek Finch on the phone?
There's nobody on the phone.
This is a mystery.
This is.
Wait, hello?
Not really sure.
Kelton is on
we'll
the phone
we'll have
right
him
now.
call back, Chris. We'll have him call back.
We'll have him call back here in just a little bit. We do have Derek Finch on the phone as well, as we have our phone lines ringing off the hook. Let's go to Derek real quickly. Derek was at Prosper and Plano East. Derek, first off, thanks for joining us. As really, this was a very impressive win for Plano East overall, as they took down Prosper, and it started really at the beginning.
Yeah, going into this game, I thought it was going to be a 70-66 type shootout. Just reading up on both of these teams, they really, really felt like offensive juggernauts. And Prosper coming out just absolutely could not get out of their own way. It felt like every snap there was a false start, every single time. You could see frustration, exacerbation, Mr. Shoemaker throwing up his hands. I, frankly, was shocked that they came out the way they did and underperformed like that.
Derek, what'd you think of that Plano East defense? What was so impressive about them tonight to slow down that what we think to be a high-powered Prosper offense?
Well, pressure. Pressure is always key. I thought they did a good job bottling up their running back, who I think came into the game with 9 touchdowns.
Yeah, Wayne
on
Anderson.
The year. And he did score tonight and had 100 yards, but really, that was their only source of offense. So I thought they did a great job making Shoemaker uncomfortable, and obviously 3 turnovers. 2 of them were gimmies, but, as a defensive back, you still have to put your hands up and make the catch. So very impressed with the Plano East defense.
Dre, what do you think about Brandon Mallory, man? I mean, Brandon Mallory is a guy that I've had my eye on for a little while, and he just seems like he has this East offense humming on all cylinders.
Well, I liked his first half a lot more than I liked his second half. The first half, he looked like an unstoppable Cam Newton type. He was throwing deep balls. He was making runs, finding open guys. He should have had 3 touchdowns in the first half, but there was a terrible, terrible drop early on. And then in the second half, Prosper seemed like they got to him a little bit. He just looked like a good high school quarterback to me from the second half on, not the unstoppable force that I saw in the first half.
Yeah, definitely so. And it looks like Prosper now turning things around. They're going to have to try and figure something out in terms of just trying to avoid the turnovers. Even last week in a win, they still turned the football over. You talked about not getting out of their own way. Was it play calling? Was it just lack of execution? What was the issue early on for the Prosper Eagles?
I would 100% chalk it up to lack of execution because a lot of times, I don't even know what they were going to call. They had to keep restarting for all their false starts. They had 5, I think, in the first quarter, maybe 7 in the first half. You can't do that coming into a big game against an opponent like Plano East. But Prosper next week, they've got Dallas Jesuit, and I don't know what they're doing right now, but they were 2-2 coming into tonight, and that could be a good chance to get their confidence back.
Derek, you sent us a video of the Plano East student section. They're feeling confident. They're chanting, "We want Allen." Do you think that they might need to watch what they're worrying about here? I don't know if Allen is if they can compete with Allen.
Well, I think the student section was a little drunk on success, and they were, putting the cart before the horse. I don't think anybody should ever want Allen.
Yeah.
Allen, to me, is on another level of high school football. I haven't seen anything like Allen in ever. They're the most unstoppable force I can ever remember seeing. So, it's good to have confidence going into a game like that, and sure, they might make it competitive. If they get 35-21, that would be something. But I'm not ready to say that this Plano East team could go into – it's at Allen, is it not?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have faith that they could go in there and knock off that team yet.
So not even a puncher's chance.
No, I don't bet against those Eagles. I'll bet against the Prosper Eagles from now on. But Allen, I'm still. You got to see more. You got to see more. Hey, if they prove me wrong, that's awesome because I don't necessarily like Allen. I just think they're incredible.
Definitely so, and they're not going to have to wait very long. They get a bye week. Plano East does get a bye week, and you turn around and they play Allen
2 weeks to prepare. That's
weeks
good
from now. So that'll be an interesting matchup. We might just have to send you, Derek, to that Allen Plano East game. That might be your assignment in a couple of weeks. But thanks so much for joining us. We'll talk to you again next week, buddy.
Yeah, you bet, guys.
Sorry about Plano West, bud. Love you.
Hey, I saw 14-14 at halftime, and I was real excited, but they let me down. They let me down.
I know.
Derek Finch, there he goes. A Plano West proud grab, but not tonight. Zach Wolchuk has the upper edge in that matchup.
They talk about wanting Allen, but like Mike Tyson once coined the term, everybody has a plan until they get hit.
It's just funny because you listen to anybody who graduated from a school that plays Allen, one of these 3 Plano schools, every single year. Derek, for a Plano West grad, he's seen it firsthand. No, you don't expect to beat Allen because they just whoop up on everybody, man. It's no fun when you're playing against Allen Eagles.
It's also no fun whenever you're looking at a scoreboard at halftime in your Fort Worth All Saints because they were down very early in that ball game to Bishop Dunn, and Bishop Dunn takes out a whole whooping on Fort Worth All Saints. We had Mallory Hartley at that ball game, and she sent us her wrap-up report. Mallory, what's going on with Bishop Dunn and Fort Worth All Saints? Oh, never mind. We do not have Mallory on the line.
Well, I can tell you it was the night for Brian Williams, defensive back.
Yeah,
for
it sounded
Bishop
like
Dunn.
it, right?
It was, yeah. I mean, she already told us his first half was unbelievable. Boy, was it ever. 3 touchdowns in less than 4 minutes. The dude had interceptions. He had punt returns for touchdowns. Texas A&M is getting themselves quite the player. Bishop Dunn rolled over Fort Worth All Saints 52-7.
Yeah, 52-7 was the final score there. An unfortunate night for Fort Worth All Saints. Bishop Dunn, pretty good. Hey, we've got Mallory on the line. Let's go ahead and go to Mallory. Oh, wait, no, we don't. Actually, I take that back again. And now we do. I keep getting it back and forth.
What is going on?
I keep getting in my hair. Now we have her.
This is
Mallory Hartley, tell us about Bishop Dunn and Fort Worth All Saints.
The final score here tonight in Bishop Dunn Stadium was 52-7, where the All Saints just nearly avoided a complete shutout. The All Saints running back number 22, Jacob Matlock, ran the ball in for about a 10-yard touchdown towards the end of the fourth quarter, but that just wasn't enough to compete with Bishop Dunn's defense. The Falcons' next game will be broadcasted on ESPNU when they take on St. Pius in another non-conference game next Friday in Houston, Texas. That's all I have here tonight. Thank you for joining me here on Friday Night Stars. Back to you guys in the studio.
That's interesting that next matchup's going to be on ESPNU. We'll take a quick look at that Cedar Hill Waxahachie game here in just a moment. But ESPNU, pretty big stuff for Bishop Dunn coming up in the future.
Hey, when you've got that many big-time recruits that are playing at your school,
a ton of
people want to see it. People want to see Brian Williams, man. He's arguably the best recruit in the state of Texas.
Yeah, very well might be. Let's go through some of the scores. We've kind of put this off because of how many people have been calling in, how many things are going on. Hekma, you got an update?
No, I was just looking. Hey, man, I got a lot of stuff flashing in front of me.
I know. You're really excited. Let's go to 6A first. Some of those 6A final scores. Zach Wolchuk, give us a 6A rundown.
Let's run them down real quick. Coppell over Irving MacArthur, 28-14. Allen all over McKinney, 54-14. Flower Mound defeating Louisville, 35-27. Very, very tight contest there between two evenly matched teams. Big win for the Jags. Wiley over Garland, 50-7. Garland Lakeview Centennial over South Garland, 48-14. Hebron defeating Irving Nimitz, 40-21, a Nimitz team that was previously undefeated. The Hawks get a win there. Keller Fossil Ridge holding on to beat Trophy Club Byron Nelson, 14-9. Nelson still winless to this point in the season. McKinney Boyd, we've talked about it. They knocked off Jesuit, 35-28. The Plano Wildcats defeat Plano West, 28-14. East over Prosper, 26-14. Rowlett knocking off North Garland in a very close game. They win it by 20, 33-13, closer than the score would indicate. Same deal with South Lake Carroll and Keller, 58-37. Carroll gets the win.
Wow.
But Keller was in that thing really from the get-go. Arlington, Bowie, and North Crowley still late in that game. Looks like Bowie's going to hold on 42-36, a game that was scoreless at the end of the first quarter. All kinds of points. Bowie found their offense. They've got the ball right now at their own 38 with 1:10 to play. Lamar over Martin, 52-11. Cedar Hill beat Waxahachie 78-28. They put up 78 points. They saw Rockwall 73. They said, we'll do you one better. Here's 78.
70 burger tonight.
78 points
Almost
on
an
Waxahachie
80.
on the road against the Indians. Arlington Sam Houston 35-22 over Fort Worth Pascal. 70-3 the other Arlington school, Arlington High, with our man Jahari Rogers. 70-8, they get the victory. Jahari Rogers, I think he might have played a quarter. 4 touchdowns.
Still had 4 touchdowns.
Unbelievable. Longview and maybe the game of the night over Rockwall, 42-35. The Lobos stay unbeaten as they are ranked in the state. They knock off an area-ranked team in Rockwall.
And with that being said, we've got Guy Frazier on the phone lines as Rockwall and Longview, really a barn burner from the get-go, back and forth. I don't think either team had a score or a lead of more than 2 touchdowns at any point in the ball game. Guy, tell us what went down between those two powers.
Hey, Kyle, man, that was a marathon game. That was who was just going to outlast who, and Longview ends up on top 42-35, as y'all know. In my pregame, I said it was going to be the first team to 45 points, and I was close to being right on that, but I also said that it would be, the first team to maybe get a stop or two that would have the best chance of winning the game, and Longview had that with a big interception late in the game with about 3 minutes left, and they also stopped Rockwall on a 4th down right out of the gates of the fourth quarter that I kind of scratched my head on. I thought Rockwall maybe should have punted the ball away, but they didn't, and Longview took care of it, and really, that's kind of how they actually, I think, took the first lead and got a little separation in that game. That's all they ended up needing was that touchdown. And, it was just a back-and-forth affair in the third quarter and then just a grinder in the fourth.
Guys, Zach here, talk about Longview. Coming in here, a lot of people in DFW probably don't appreciate the history that Longview has had and the success they brought to the table. Offensively, it seemed like they couldn't step a beat with that defense as well.
Say that last part again.
Their offense seemed like they couldn't skip a beat. What happened offensively for them? Keelan Williams seemed like he had an excellent game, but then on defense, what made the difference for them to somewhat? They didn't slow them down a ton, but they got the stops when they needed to against Rockwall.
Right. Well, honestly, they never stopped Jackson Smith, the receiver for Rockwall, once tonight. I think he finished with 289 yards.
Jeez.
Which is just absurd. But hang on, I'm driving here. Let's see.
Oh.
But they did at one point, with the pick, which was probably the biggest play of the game, because prior to that, they had missed a 48-yard field goal that would have put them up by 10. So Rockwall gets the ball back, and they need to make one big play. And I think they dropped back into cover 2, maybe. I don't remember the play exactly, but kid makes an incredible interception, ends up swaying the momentum back in their favor completely, and they never really let go of it. But it was really going to come down to one big play like that, and it came down on defense. But nobody really stopped anybody tonight. The offense has really controlled that game.
Guy, we talk about Jacob Clark all the time at quarterback for Rockwall, but what about Haynes King? I don't know if a ton of people know about him, but he had himself quite the game for Longview. What did you see from him tonight?
Right. Well, going into this game, Longview Twitter was saying that it's not official, but just knowing Longview being a more balanced attack team, not always being a high, scoring, passing, all over the place type traditional, program, he actually was the fastest, according to them, to reach 1,000 yards passing in a season after week 4 of this season. So, last year when I saw him play in a couple playoff games, he looked like your typical sophomore. Yeah, he's the coach's son, so he trusts him, but still, they didn't have everything going with him. He seemed more like the bus driver. This year, though, it seems like the offense is really controlled completely by him. They're letting him air it out, and really just the whole playbook is there for him. And tonight he had another huge game. He's got some wheels. He actually can get in the open field and make some people miss. He's a bigger kid than people would think, and he's quite the talent. And he's a lot better than probably people think, as far as statewide, he doesn't get the recognition he deserves.
Yeah, definitely. So thanks so much, Guy. Great work last night. You've seen two very good football games back-to-back night. Last night it was DeSoto and Lake Ridge. Tonight, Longview and Rockwall. We'll see what two games you get to go to next week, Guy.
Yeah, it's been a fun week. Appreciate it, fellas.
Definitely so. Guy Frazier, one of our top reporters in terms of giving that information. He definitely knows how to do that. We'll talk to a couple more reporters here in just a minute, but first let's go through those 5A scores. Eric Chiofalo, there is a plenty to talk about in terms of that 5A rundown. Tell us what's going on at that division.
Yes, so 47-7, Colleyville Heritage over Carrollton Newman Smith. Birdville 59-7 over Carrollton R.L. Turner, and then Denton falls to Denton Ryan 48-7. It's good to see a little bit of offense out of Denton Ryan. We've talked about them all season. Their defense has been dominant. Their quarterback situation's been completely up in the air. Well, tonight they do it on the ground. They do it through the air. 48 points. Way to go, Ryan. Hopefully that offense can get going because that defense, we all know, is one of the best in the state. No doubt about it. Coming up next, we got Denton Broswell and Lovejoy. It's 48-7. Lovejoy wins that game. Frisco Centennial falls to the Colony 49-21. Frisco Wakeland beat Frisco Heritage 49-28. And then right here at the Ford Center, we had Frisco Memorial and Frisco Lebanon Trail. We had Coach Roberson in here off his first victory in school history for Frisco Memorial. Awesome.
Big one.
Absolutely incredible. So that was awesome there. And then we got Frisco Independence 45-10 over Frisco Liberty. Frisco Lone Star, we've talked about that quite a bit tonight. They barely escape. Little Elm 10-7. Grapevine puts it on Carrollton Creekview 63-21. And then Bryan Adams beat Sunset 40-6. My Justin Northwest beat Fort Worth Southwest 52-14. Mansfield Legacy and Mansfield Timberview. This was a great game that we've been talking about. Hekma, the lone warrior, I think, on this game. Legacy wins it. Wow. 27 to
flexing
22.
the muscles a little bit.
And that's a Legacy team that's missing really their two best players. Yeah. Obviously, Catalan, he's been out for 2 weeks now. Jackson on that defensive line, he's out, and they still find a way to get the victory over Timberview. That was a great victory right there for Legacy. And then Midlothian falls to Burleson Centennial 24-7. Roy City over Forney 14-9. Lancaster over Samuel 50-6. Ennis over Terrell 14-0. And Highland Park over Woodrow Wilson 56-14.
Wow. Big
Shannon
time
Moore's
win for
finished
HB.
with 5 touchdowns, by the way. I know we said he had a really slow, not really a good game. 5 touchdowns, 58 or 56 points. What a night for Highland Park.
Yeah, definitely. So
and
another good night.
Just to wrap up the 6A scores real quick, Mansfield Summit knocked off Grand Prairie 41-16. Horn loses 20-17.
Wow.
Mesquite beat Mesquite Horn. J.J. Pierce 56-14 over Molina.
Is that 0-5 now for
Mesquite Horn?
It's
0-5 for Mesquite Horn, and they're not looking good. They're in the doldrums of that.
Hekma had that a must-win game.
District. And Longview sitting at the top of that district, so that's going to be a tough one to come back from. Richardson 51-7 on W.T. White. Duncanville, they took care of business 63-0 over Richardson Berkner. And then Skyline over Lake Highlands 55-44. South Grand Prairie does beat Mansfield 27-17.
Another big final score that we've talked about throughout the night in terms of this being a complete one-win game, or a must-win game, I should say, in terms of both of these teams starting off district play, Louisville and Flower Mound. And on the phone now we have from 105.3 The Fan and also the voice of the Louisville Fighting Farmers, Nick Nepich, on the phone. And Nick, first off, this is a Flower Mound team that trailed early in the game, but now turns around and they found themselves winning this 35-27.
Yeah, it was 13-0 at halftime. Louisville seemed to be in control, and in fact, in the middle of the third quarter, it was 27-7. Louisville was in front, but the Jaguars went with tempo there in the second half and really turned things around, got a big onside kick, and then took the lead early in the fourth quarter. In fact, the first play of the fourth quarter, and never looked back, and they were able to hold on.
Nick, Zach with you. It looked like Louisville got the ground game going a little bit, but not enough to really hold on to this one against Flower Mound. I know you mentioned to me this was the game that would probably decide who got that fourth and final playoff spot for Louisville. Do you think this one's going to come back to bite them?
I think it could. You know, Ben McAfee, the running back for the Farmers, had 100 yards in each of the first 3 games. Tonight he was held to 84 yards. He did still have 3 touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 1 through the air. But They weren't able to establish drives like they were able to against McKinney-Boyd 2 weeks ago. But like you said, this one really could end up deciding that final playoff spot in District 6-6A with Coppell, Hebron, and Marcus pretty clear at the top. Flower Mound and Louisville were really jousting for that final spot, or at least it would seem to be that way. Now Louisville needs the Jaguars, Flower Mound that is, to fall to one of these Irving schools, and they need to run the table against Irving and maybe steal a win from a Marcus, a Coppell, or a Hebron, or they're going to be just on the outside looking in.
Nick, Flower Mound did some alternating at quarterback. Their starting receiver, usually is receiver Jake Welch, started the game at quarterback, and then they went back to Blake Short. What'd you see there? Did they find success doing alternating, or was it just for a few series, or was it the whole game? What was that about?
So what we were told is that in the bye week last week, Jake Welch won a quarterback battle, and he started the game. But the more we got into it, what it seemed like is Welch started the first half, and Blake Short started the second half. Now, Jake Welch got a run in the fourth quarter. He actually had the go-ahead touchdown run from a quarterback draw. But other than that, it was all Blake Short. But it really wasn't the story of the quarterback. It was more the story of Flower Mound went with tempo in the second half and was running the ball with Pierce Hudgens, their running back. He finished with about 258 yards on the ground. He averaged 10 yards a carry and had 3 touchdowns. The Farmers just couldn't stop the tempo of Flower Mound, and Pierce Hudgens had a monster second half. But the quarterback was a bit of a story just because it was a surprise. Blake Short was listed as the starter until we got the kickoff, and then it was Jake Welch who started the game.
Yeah, for Flower Mound, I mean, I'm looking at Pierce's numbers, 25, 258. That was these are definitely grown man stats. Did the defense from Louisville not just have any answers for him all game?
Well, it's interesting. In the first half, the Louisville defense pitched a shutout. You know, the defense for the Farmers has been the strength thus far this year. The front seven has been dominant, and they were in the first half. The defensive line really gave Flower Mound fits on the run game, whether it was the quarterback or the running back. But in the second half, what I think really hurt them is this Farmers defense, while it's strong, it's not very deep. And so when Flower Mound went with tempo, it really put Louisville at a disadvantage. And I think there was some hands on some hips, some guys cramping there in the second half, and they just couldn't keep up with the tempo and the run game of Flower Mound. And credit to that offensive line. The Jaguars' offensive line really flipped the script there in the second half and gave Hudgens a lot of room to run. But the Farmer defense, I mean, it was a tale of two halves. The first half, they pitch a shutout. The second half, they give up 35 points. And they did even force, 4 turnovers on the game, 2 on special teams, 2 on defense, and yet they fall 35-27.
Nick Nepic there for the Nepic. Sorry, excuse me. There for Fighting Farmers of Louisville and for Flower Mound. Nick, thanks so much for joining us. We'll talk to you again next week.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
There he goes, Nick Nepic. Sorry.
It's okay. It's a weird spelling.
It is a weird spelling, but he's definitely not a weird guy. An outstanding voice. And I love hearing him on the Fan every week as well with you two.
Guys, I want to tell you about this 4A matchup, the Midlothian Heritage game. Midlothian had this game. It was up 18-0 when I was telling you guys earlier 4A scores. Waco La Vega comes back 45-18, the final score.
Wow, over Midlothian Heritage?
Yeah.
Wow. How about La Vega?
La Vega.
That's impressive win.
Took over, guys. I'm telling you, it was a tale of the second half because they put that thing on the ground. They have 2 outstanding running backs, man. These guys, John Richards and Jerquay Walton. Both of these guys were 183 for Richards and 156 for Walton. Took over in the second half. Both 2 touchdowns apiece.
Yeah, definitely did. But we are running out of time. About 4 minutes left in week 5 of Friday Night Stars.
Unbelievable.
Guys, let's go through our stars of the night. I don't know, we've kind of had that moment. We've had those names. We've thrown a bunch of them out there over the 4 hours of the show. Eric, we'll start with you. Who's your star of the night?
Oh, it's got to be Brian Williams for Bishop Dunn. This dude had 3 touchdowns tonight, 2 of which were interception returns, 1 of which was a punt return. He's a commit to A&M. He's an absolute stud, and what a game he had. He had all 3 of his touchdowns came in less than 4 game minutes. They were all just back-to-back. It's an interception touchdown. It's a punt return touchdown. Then another interception for touchdown. This dude's unbelievable. He'll be playing on Saturdays with A&M next year. What a stud. What a night for him.
Beast. Absolute beast. I got to go with TJ McDaniel from South Lake Carroll. Big win for them, knocking off an undefeated Keller team. 32 carries, 253 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Monster.
For DJ McDaniel tonight. Unbelievable. Put the team on my back and carry the Dragons to a victory.
Man, it's so hard to go with the player in a loss, but this dude had a monster game. Rockwall receiver, Jackson Smith. How do you pronounce his last name?
I think it's Njiba, but I could be wrong.
Jackson Smith and Njiba, 13 catches, 289 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Crazy.
Unbelievable. That's a Randy Moss-style game right there for that kid.
Yeah, it definitely is. Now we've got a team of the week, a coach of the week, and a student section of the week that we've got to give out collectively as a show. This week, I'm going to give you the team of the week. Hekma, who is your team that made the biggest impact on you this week?
Man, it'd have to be the coach that we just had in here today. I mean, Frisco getting their first win. It's got to be them.
Frisco Memorial.
I think he's coach of the week as well. Coach of the week came in here first in.
Well, I'm going to let Zach pick coach of the week.
Gosh, dang it!
Oh well, that's fine with me. We'll give it to Coach Roberson. Why not? You get your first win as a program. I think absolutely.
But first in studio guest. I mean, come on.
No doubt. I mean, aside from Plano being team of the week, I think absolutely that's got to be the way to go.
Wait, so is it Plano or is it Frisco Memorial?
Well, no, I'm not going to give Plano coach of the week. That's the story for another day. But absolutely. Coach Robertson coming on in here. What an emotional victory for that program.
Definitely. So who is your student section?
Oh, Plano East, man. I
calling out Allen.
We want Allen.
2 weeks, baby. 2 weeks. That's the game.
Woo,
that is
boy,
gonna
mark
be a game
your
to
calendars.
We want Allen.
No, you don't.
We don't want Allen.
We want Allen.
No, we don't.
They want all the smoke.
Oh, thanks so much for joining us. Whataburger Friday Night Stars from the Star in Frisco. For Eric Chiofalo, for Zach Wolchuk, for Hekma Harrison, I'm Kyle Youmans. Thanks for joining us again. Follow us on Twitter at Friday_Stars. And until next week, so long from Frisco.